And what's poetic about that was I was the first guy to have to explain to people why that step back wasn't the travel. You can go back and look. That was me and Ronnie Nunn, like the ex-NBA ref, like breaking down the footwork and explaining this is actually genius. Like somebody sat down and looked at the rules and say, you know what? So, my point about the rules and how the referees called the game in the past is interesting because when you go through the rule books, like I think I made this point before, but I want to make it clear. When you go through the rule books, you see they would call a carry when a guy did a crossover. And back in the day, it was clear from everybody that the reason why they called it was because the hand was not on top of the ball. It went to the side of the ball because that's kind of how you have to make a crossover, right? Combo, can you really do a good crossover with the hand on top of the ball? It's hard. You kind of have to
that's what they were trying to do like in the 60s.
Yeah. So really do it, you have to have the side of the ball. So I went back, here, like I have rule books. Here's one from 28, 29. Is this the right way or is it backwards?
So that's the whole rule book.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, this is the whole rule book. And it's fascinating. There's happened from every year. I have this one's from whatever this year is.
You are a true basketball historian, Coach Nick.
Yeah, this is from 1936, and then I have every decade. And I'm like, where is this rule that demands you have to have the hand on top of the ball? Guess what? There was no rule. So then you have referees for decades and decades calling erroneously carries, and then it forces the players to have to adjust to some way that's not in the rules. And so when you finally look at the rules and say, wait a minute, then you probably even go to the referee before the game and say, look, I can have my hand on the side of the ball as long as the ball doesn't pause. You can't call that. And they're like, oh, so that's kind of like what the Iverson thing finally did, right? Finally, they realized maybe in their desire not to blow the whistle every time, but they also said, well, you know what? Like, it's not really a travel because the ball doesn't pause and the hand's not underneath the ball. And so I think that applies to a couple other places too, in terms of what they were calling in terms of steps and that stuff. So in reality, what they're calling today is probably the most accurate version of the rules, not what everyone is pining for from back in the day. So that's the weird thing about it.